Good afternoon, folks. Derek from the Rangers Review here with your press conference reaction video after hearing from Danny Rohl and Jayden Magoma before Rangers take on Kilmarnock tomorrow night. 8 p.m. kickoff for that one down at Rugby Park. Just me on the show today, but some interesting things, some positive news from Danny Rohl this afternoon. So let's get to it, shall we? He was asked about the squad and how it's looking ahead of the trip tomorrow, and good news regarding these two, Mikey Moore and John Souttar. So Daniel said, yeah, Mikey trained with us today, and if there's no reaction, he'll be back tomorrow in the squad. I think it's good news. Dujon is not available for the game because of the pitch, so no surprise there. We have to be careful, and all the others are still the same. He was pressed, have you missed the creativity from Mikey? Yeah, I think he showed, especially in the Dundee game when he scored, which skills he has, especially between the lines. I think it was one of the best games from him. I think I see him more inside instead of just in the wide areas. I think this is good. He gives us these moments between the lines. He can have good decision-making, scoring goals, good finishing. Of course, after injury, you have to bring him back step by step, but still today in the small side of the game, he showed what he can do. I think that is good news for us, especially for the upcoming games. Now, on Souttar, he says, John, yeah, maybe around the Celtic game, could be back, but this is still 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe he starts next week on the grass. I think this is a good step forward, and then let's see week by week how quick it goes. So, yeah, certainly positive news on Mikey Moore. We were expecting the end of December on him. So, if he can play a part from tomorrow onwards, and I think that is a real boost for Rangers. Moving on to other matters, he was asked, Danny Rohl, is there a concern of the number of bodies for the games over the festive period coming up? Yeah, it's true. I think we have to manage this. It's important that Dujon is back. I think it's important that he gets in the next coming games also some minutes before Nasser will leave. Nasser Jiga, who of course will be heading off with his country for the AFCON, for Clinton as well, Clinton NCL. I think this is now crucial that they are really ready, because especially at the end of the year, we'll have the situation. Of course, Mohamed Diamandi is another one that will head off with his country at the Ivory Coast. He was asked, this is a big opportunity for these guys now. Yeah, this is now about when, but it will come, of course. I think Dujon was also in the mind on the Wednesday game, but then the game was like it was. Then you have to make a decision, but I think it's good that they are ready. Then we have the game in Europe, which could also be helpful. That's the reason why Dujon is on the list. I think that can help. Rangers, of course, heading to Budapest next week to take on Ferencváros. Looking forward to that game myself. Incidentally, I'll be heading along. Am I looking forward to the game? I'm not too sure, but I'll be out there. I'm actually looking forward to going to Budapest, but I digress. He was asked, of course, with Kilmarnock playing on that artificial surface, are you a fan of them? No, I think I spoke in the morning with Jack about this pitch a little bit to get the impression. I think this is also important to take the players with you. They know the pitch better than me, and I spoke with some of the players, but this is what it is. We have to take it, we have to go there, and we have to win the game. And then what happens in the future, we'll see. He was asked then, does it change your approach? Do you take it into account? Yeah, I think to understand which areas you can play football and which areas you have to avoid a little bit more. I think this is also crucial. Then there's the opponents. They will also try something. But of course, when you look at the games and the pictures I saw in some moments, it's not for us. Some other interesting points of notes in this press conference, which incidentally, you can read the full transcript over on the website, folks. Did the reaction of the fans at the end of the game on Wednesday tell you about the demands here? He says, yeah, the demand is always high. We want to win this game. I think there was a mix. I felt there was a bit of a mix because they were happy to take the point, but also they were disappointed not to win this game. I took it like this. It was the same for me. I was also happy to take the point, but I was unhappy that we couldn't win this game. Now, he was asked, what message did you give to the strikers? Of course, we've seen Bojan Miovski, Danilo missing chances, and then that huge miss from Yusuf Chermiti late on. It says, in general, it's not just the strikers, it was the wingers. I think it was 4 or 5 players that had big chances, and they missed the chances. We spoke about which steps we make forward and which steps we have to improve. I think this is on the pitch and off the pitch. I think that was a big message for me. I said this after the game to the staff and to the players. I said this yesterday as well again, that I see good steps forward, but there are also some parts that we have to improve. That means also off the pitch, to take something and to be focused, be clear in which direction and what we want to do. Now, he was also asked about Nadine Bramy, who has been showing good form of late, it's fair to say, probably Rangers' best creative outlet at this point in time. Says he's been impressed by him. I think that was a big message yesterday to my group. Nadine was a guy who trained really hard. He was waiting for the opportunity, and then he was there and took the opportunity when I subbed him against Livingston. He helped us to make an impact against Falkirk. He played too often, too wide, and not so dangerous areas. And now in this game, he was much, much more in the half position. I think it helped a lot. It showed me that he was listening. He gives us, especially on the offensive, calmness on the ball, but also some good decision-making. It helps us speed up our game and create more chances. More and more chances is what he had to say. Now, interestingly, he was also pressed on Jedi Gassama, who we have seen on the right-hand side as opposed to the left, where I certainly think he is more suited and cutting inside onto his right foot. But on Jedi, he says, well, he's asked why has he been playing on the right. I think we have at the moment a lot of players have to play in the left winger position. It's normal because when you have a right foot, you can go inside and you can finish the action. I think there's a part of when you look at the game back, our option B in pressing was to have Gas on the last line. When we had an underload with a back four, that was the reason why Gas can do this. He did this as well in the home game against Kilmarnock. He's in this case a defensive, a bit of a hybrid for me in some moments. And that was the reason why I put him in this position. I think he has his strengths on the left side with the inside dribbling. But on the right side, he comes also very often in good opportunities and to good chances. Now, it's about also to start to score in these moments, but he understands it. I explained in this, we have a hybrid position, but it's also about what's best for the team. So there you go. Lastly, he was asked, given the points differential, having drawn a couple of games in the last two, do you see these games as one of the all costs in this one, just to stay in first and get to January? So not just to January, I think January will close the gap. Of course, the last two draws opens again a little bit of the gap, but if we win tomorrow, we'll be just 6 points behind because the two opponents or teams ahead of us have to play against each other. Of course, Hearts play taking on Celtic at Parkhead, but not both can win. And then we'll have all the games in our hand. It's a long way, but it's not impossible. So there you go. That is what Danny Rohl had to say in his press conference this afternoon, folks. And you can go and watch Jaden Magoma's press conference as well over on the YouTube channel. Tomorrow, the game, of course, at 8 o'clock. It's live on Sky and Rangers TV. If you aren't heading along to the game, we'll have all your usual coverage as normal. And tomorrow morning, as Blair mentioned on the briefing earlier on, he and Joshua have recorded a show focusing on the misfiring forward line. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, if I don't see you over the weekend, then enjoy your Friday. Hopefully your team wins on Saturday, and we'll chat again on Monday. Bye for now.